The resume you submit isn't always the one they see. You spend hours on it, tweaking bullets, adjusting formatting, swapping verbs, making sure every line sounds sharp, professional, and just impressive enough without crossing into exaggeration. You tailor it to the job, you match the keywords, you hit submit. And then, nothing. No response, no rejection, just silence. At some point, it stops feeling like bad luck and starts feeling like something else is happening. Because in many cases, your resume doesn't go straight to a human. It goes through a system first. Applicant tracking systems like Workday, Taleo, and Greenhouse don't just store your resume. They process it. They parse it. They break it down into structured data, job titles, dates, skills, keywords, experience levels. Your resume stops being a document and becomes a data set. And here's where things start to shift. Because once your resume becomes data, it can be interpreted. Not read, interpreted. The system decides what counts as a skill, what counts as relevant experience, what matches the job description, what doesn't. It scores you, ranks you, filters you, quietly, before anyone ever looks at your name. Which means the version of your resume you carefully crafted isn't what the system is actually evaluating. It's evaluating what it extracted. And what it extracted depends on how well it understood what you wrote, which, as a lot of people have discovered, is not always great. A bullet point that made perfect sense to you might get ignored. A skill you clearly listed might not get recognized. A job title you held might not map cleanly to what the system expects. And suddenly, your experience isn't wrong, it's just invisible. But the system doesn't know that. It just knows what it sees, and what it sees becomes your score. Now, layer in another piece. These systems don't just parse resumes, they compare them against job descriptions, against other candidates, against patterns from previous hires. Which means you're not just being evaluated on your experience, you're being evaluated on how closely your data matches a model. A model built from past decisions, past hires, past definitions of what qualified looks like. And here's where it gets a little frustrating. Because if the model is narrow, the outcomes are narrow. If the system expects certain keywords, certain phrasing, certain structures, then anything outside of that becomes harder to see. Not because it's worse, because it's different. Which means you can be fully qualified and still not make it through. Not because a person rejected you, because the system didn't recognize you. And this is where the process changes, because hiring used to start with people reviewing resumes. Now it often starts with systems filtering them, reducing thousands of applications down to a smaller pool, which sounds efficient. And from a company perspective, it is. But efficiency changes structure, and structure changes outcomes. Because now the goal isn't just to find the best candidate, it's to find candidates that fit the system, candidates that translate cleanly into the format the system understands, candidates that align with the model. And if you don't align with that model, you may never get seen, no matter how qualified you are, no matter how strong your experience is. Because the system isn't asking, is this person capable? It's asking, does this data match what we're looking for? That's a different question, and it produces different results. This doesn't mean the system is broken. It means it's structured, built to process volume, built to reduce noise, built to create order out of thousands of applications. But in doing that, it changes how candidates are evaluated. Because before a recruiter ever sees your resume, a system may have already decided what it is and what it isn't, which means the hardest part of getting hired might not be proving you're qualified. It might be making sure the system understands that you are, and those are not the same thing. If this video opened your eyes even a little, don't let it stop here. Hit that subscribe button because the next one goes even deeper. Hit the like button so this video actually reaches more people. Go to the comment section and let me know what stood out to you or what I should test next. And share this video with someone who needs to see it before they scroll past it. Because the more this spreads, the harder it becomes to ignore what's really going on. Are you ready for the next truth test? Let's go.